You're listening to Flying Casual, a Star Wars podcast. Here's your host, Michael Canterbury.
Wow. I think I have sweat probably 2 gallons in 30 minutes. Holly?
Yeah.
Gross, right?
Disgusting.
Whew. I would say 95% of that is my anticipation for The Rise of Skywalker and then actually getting to enjoy the trailer a couple times. And then another 5% or whatever is just setting up. And if you've ever been to a live podcast with myself, you know, go ahead and take that start time and tack on another
hour and a half.
I mean, you know, we delayed it a little bit. It looked like the trailer was coming out around 9:45. And, you know, technical things happen, you know, the internet, the stream. It's a difficult place out there to do live podcasts. But
you meant 9:45 Central Time.
Central Time. There, I need to be a little more specific there. But yes, you're right. I did mean that. So though we are in Ohio, I definitely was going off Central Standard. So there's another lesson for everyone. But I hope can everyone hear, Holly? What's we got?
Yeah, we have audio.
We have audio.
Well, no one's saying that we don't.
That's okay. That's good. That's a good start. And I think we got Luke there, right?
I'm here.
We're figuring out Luke's audio as we go. You know, we've got some improvements coming, and it didn't exactly work out like we wanted to tonight. But when you're live, nothing goes the way you think it's going to go.
Okay, Luke Skywalker.
Great reference there, Holly. Great reference there. You know, check that feed. I hope we still got a few folks in there that we are late, but that's okay. We're still recording. We're still doing it live, whether we like it or not, and whether anyone likes it or not. We're doing it live. So we got to watch the trailer. This is a moment we've been waiting for a long time, Holly. Long time. So I'm just going to go ahead before we get too deep into the discussion and before, you know, Chewie puts my foot to sleep because he's sitting on it right now. Holly, I want you to start, and I'm going to go to Luke. I want you to start with your initial reaction. You don't have to go into too much detail at this point.
Okay, because I actually don't have a lot of detail.
You don't remember it?
Well, I didn't really get a chance to watch it with all the trying to set up. So I'm sorry. I don't actually. I need to watch it before I.
We need to dissect it.
I'm just here to facilitate the live chat tonight.
Wow, it sounds like you're not even a Star Wars fan. Is that what's happening?
No, I just didn't get to watch it.
Well, from what you did see, what were your initial reactions? Were you pleased? Were you let down?
I don't know.
No comment.
I honestly, I need to watch it again.
Await further comment from Holly. You know, it's hot and sweaty here, so a lot of emotions going on. But Luke, I'm going to go to you then. You got to watch the trailer, right?
Oh, I'm in a similar kind of bind. I thought this was a Resistance-only review show.
See, Luke gets it.
Oh, shoot.
You're right, man.
No.
We were supposed to record a Resistance discussion, and that's getting pushed till, you know, the next couple days. But yeah. So you did get to check it out, right?
I saw it. I pulled up, you know, I saw some Tom Brady in my face, and then got some Star Wars.
That was a slaughter.
And,
can we talk about that for a second? Those Patriots are whooping the Jets. Anyway, I turned it off immediately.
I pulled up ESPN to watch it drop live.
Yeah.
And then I watched it like maybe 4 other times on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've got a pretty good run through.
That's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, there was a lot to process. And I'll be honest, the first time I watched it, actually, can I disclose I've only watched it once? I tend to not watch trailers a ton, but I am going to go back and watch this one because there's a lot to dissect in there. So, Luke, I mean, were you just overcome with emotion the first time you watched it? Because, I mean, I'm just like, I had chills. I was speechless. I really didn't know how to respond.
I didn't quite experience that until the moment when Leia, or when Luke is saying, you know, the Force will be with you, and then right at the end, Leia comes in with the always, and that's when I got kind of like shivery, teardrop eye to hear Carrie, you know, drop in there, and to know that a piece of her is in this movie in some way, and still just waiting to see how that all plays out, how they utilize the footage for her, and what they how they manipulate what dialogue they had for her and make it work within this new movie. It's really fascinating, and it was an emotional impact for me. I mean, it was really cool to see everything else. That was the moment that, like, hearing Carrie's voice.
I couldn't agree more, and I don't know why. I think it's because they kind of doubled it up there with Luke's kind of, the Force will be with you, and she says always. How I immediately reacted was, oh my gosh, Leia became one with the Force. Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, they could have just taken a clip from her telling Rey, like, hey, have a great mission. May the Force be with you always. But in my mind, it was almost as if Carrie Fisher or Leia had become one with the Force. Luke, did that kind of jump out to you as well?
I could see it.
Yeah.
The tricky thing about so much of the dialogue in trailers is off camera. Like, you're not watching the person's mouth move who's saying the words for so much of a trailer.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, but I kind of think they won't actually kill Leia within the story.
Interesting. Yeah.
That could go either way.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it was definitely a nice, touching moment, and they used that quote there to, it was fantastic. It definitely, I'm sure, touched a lot of people. So yeah, you're right. There seemed to be a lot of that kind of piecemeal, dialogue. I think they did a lot of that with Palpatine, throwing together some quotes about, you're all coming together and it's going to be your downfall. I feel like that could have been piecemealed, but I immediately just went to, they got me, man. It's that, I don't know. It just grabs your attention, and it could be misdirection, but my mind immediately went to Rey and Kylo. These are just these big moments, and as much as I'm talking about like not liking Reylo, we just did a podcast on it. That's immediately where my mind went, and I don't know why it wasn't just the Resistance and all their allies getting together, and that'll be their downfall. It just was in my mind. It was Rey and Kylo. Did you have that experience?
The way the trailer was cut with the imagery and the voiceover of Palpatine, it was screaming, "This is Rey and Kylo coming together." And I think what I told you earlier today was I over the weekend watched the episode 7 and episode 8 trailers again to kind of see, now that we know what's in those movies, what did the trailers actually show us and reveal? And in The Last Jedi, like, neither trailer shows you any real plot. Yeah. But what the Last Jedi trailer did is hyper focus in on Rey, temptations of the darkness, and Luke saying, "I've seen this raw power before, and it didn't scare me then with Kylo, but it does now." And she needs someone to show her place, and it was followed by an image of Kylo, and really teasing the connection they have, and that Kylo maybe could draw her towards the dark side. Yeah. And so again, like, this trailer seems to me like, there's a lot of cool imagery. You see a ton of ships and really cool things happening, but really the heart of the whole trailer is, what are Rey and Kylo doing in relation to Palpatine? And there was a lot of imagery that seemed to look like they were cooperating and not really antagonists.
It did. A moment that sticks out to me was them in this room, and it almost looked like they destroyed Vader's mask together. Like, I haven't done any frame by frame look yet, but isn't that what it didn't seem like they were, fighting each other. There was almost like, hey, together we're going to destroy this manipulation or whatever it was. Is that what you were thinking too?
That's what it looked like to me. I mean, it could go either way. It could be like, oh, we're in a fight in this area, and when we're deflecting each other's blows, there's some collateral damage. But that image, it didn't really look like they were in any kind of struggle with each other. It looked like they were both moving in that motion together, coordinated. So and it looked like Vader's helmet on a little stand or something. Yeah,
like they were just destroying that. I didn't get to see it in person, but it almost, if my memory serves me correctly, it looks almost like similar to that room that the people, I think D23 got a sneak peek that no one else did. It wasn't released, of Kylo seeing Vader's mask again. It looked almost like that room. So maybe Rey was there with him, and who knows, man, like that, it could be misdirection galore, but it could be, either they are teaming up and then they're going to remain that way to fight the Emperor, or maybe this is just like a temporary alliance and they need to destroy the Emperor because it kind of the Emperor seems to probably jeopardize Kylo's plan. And maybe they need to team together, and then they'll go their separate ways.
I'm gonna backtrack.
We're
going back. You guys talk way too fast.
Till midnight.
You guys talk way too fast. Let's go.
What do we got?
Let's get everybody involved.
Come
here.
on, let's go. Let's go.
Wade said the Star Destroyer seemingly coming up out of the ground is what caught his attention the most.
Okay, he's gonna have to walk me through that because I think I missed that. Luke, did you catch that scene?
Yeah, there was part during, I think, some of the Palpatine voiceover, and you see this image of Star Destroyer kind of breaking free from the crust of a planet, almost like it's been half.
I mean, could that, and that is that the same? Are those the Imperial Star Destroyers that we saw in that still that Scotty referenced?
Yeah, looks like the old school ones.
Wow, guys, I had to have blacked out for a few of these frames because I missed a lot. I think I was just blown away by everything that was happening. So I will have to watch this a few more times.
A lot of the shots are so quick. Like I said, I think I've watched it 4 or 5 times in total now, and every time I watched it, I saw an image I didn't see the first 3 times. So there's so much jam packed into these imagery wise. Yeah,
I mean, they even released a little teaser again before the trailer dropped today, and everyone was all over it. It was a scene with all the ships, and the Falcon kind of drops in as the lead, and people were saying that the Ghost was right there, kind of beside the Falcon, and I'm just like, what? Like, I mean, that could just be a little Easter egg, but it also, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see.
Easter egg.
Right? Yeah. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a little more to it, but that was a nice little drop. And people are going and analyzing all of the ships, which seems like a little overkill, but I'll let them do it and I'll enjoy, their research.
Yeah. Wade said there was lightning and a destroyer coming up through the ground, zombie style.
Who may that, what? Now that, Scotty talked about Thrawn, kind of bringing this Imperial fleet to assist. But what if Palpatine has nothing to do with the First Order? What if he has this armada, in the unknown regions or under the ground that he's been hiding, and he comes and just wipes out the First Order?
Oh my God.
Luke, has that ever crossed your mind that maybe Palpatine wants nothing to do with the First Order, and he just comes and destroys it all, and it's actually, Palpatine and his zombie, ships and who knows, Sith troopers or whatever, that are actually going to be doing the fighting here?
That might not be his initial intention, but what I was thinking about the dynamic between Palpatine and Kylo is that, Kylo maybe just as unaware of Palpatine as somebody like Rey at first, and then Palpatine's revealed, and he's like, geez, I just threw off this last guy who was my master a little while ago, and I thought I was in charge, and here comes this other guy saying, all right, here, little dark side baby, this is how we're going to do things. I'm the Emperor. And he's really like, wait a second, no, I'm not signing up for this again, and that's why maybe it's an alliance of convenience in that sense, where he's like, no, I want to do my own thing, and I don't want to be beholden to this guy. And so then maybe both the First Order and the Resistance are fighting against this army raised from
the dead
by Palpatine.
Yeah, that could be a whole element that we've, at least to my knowledge, never seen in Star Wars. But so I'm envisioning with that, Palpatine approaching Ben Solo or Kylo Ren, and Kylo's like, wait, what's happening? He's just like, foolish boy. Like, I knew I was manipulating you all along. I was manipulating Snoke all along. This was actually my plan. And I kind of would like to see, because Ben Solo surprised us so much, I kind of would like to see him get owned there by the Emperor in that moment and just be stunned. Like, no one expected this. I just kind of want to have that moment, because that's what could really turn him, of being like, wow, I am not as powerful as I thought. And Snoke seemed to be really freaking powerful. So I need help. If I'm gonna actually lead this galaxy, I'm gonna need some help, and it could be Rey. gosh, I'm kind of blown away. What else we got going on?
So we have a lot. Okay, so we have a lot of comments about C-3PO. What is going on with C-3PO? Which I have to say, when we were at Celebration,
come on,
there were a lot of
he
was very excited about C-3PO's.
Ooh, you're giving me chills thinking about
full body chills.
He
Anthony Daniels
was
just so excited about C-3PO's role in this movie, and he wouldn't stop talking about it.
He had something to prove that like this was C-3PO's last stand, that these people have been his friends this entire time, and as dismissive as they may have been, he's had their backs, and sometimes he saved the day, and now he's gonna almost kind of make them all feel guilty for dismissing him so much, he's gonna say, "You're my friends, and this is the last time I'm gonna look upon you."
He said, "I'm looking at my friends for the last time." Well, that's sad.
I melt. There were so many moments where I was melting in that trailer, and that's one of them, because all of us, let's be honest, friends, all of us have dismissed C-3PO at some point. My friend Lane cannot stand C-3PO as a character, and here he may make the ultimate sacrifice. And it was just chilling. I will say though, when gosh, forgive me, I forget the droid mechanic's name. I can't remember what that was. Do you happen to remember what that was? I don't remember what it was. The little cute guy, it was adorable.
Oh, you can buy him at Target and he can go around your house.
What? Why have we not done this? Luke, do you have one of these?
I don't have one of those dudes, and I don't remember his name, but the Star Wars show revealed him a couple weeks ago.
He was adorable, right?
We talked about him.
I'm going to have to give all of us one, because I feel like everyone needs one. I'll put it by my porg. But I thought he was reprogramming him in that moment, like, "Hey, C-3PO, what's up?" And all of a sudden his eyes go red, and I was just like, Terminator mode was about to start, but it was a real, and then that was kind of that misdirection. I was just like, oh my God, he's going to Hulk out, and it was really just a really solid moment. Babu Frick, nice work. But he really just was a nice solemn moment, and it's just C-3PO is a character that ties the entire saga together, like every single episode.
Yeah, Jory said 3PO has been almost a running joke in the EU, so it's awesome if he gets his due in The Rise of Skywalker.
Amen. I could not agree more. And what a better character to tie everything together and say, I've been there. He's recorded, if you recall, Return of the Jedi. He's almost recorded these moments, and it's almost his story to tell us.
Yeah. Also, Nettie said C-3PO used to be my favorite character as a kid.
You know what, Nettie, you're going to have to talk about that some more, because I love that, and that is unique, and he needs to join that Facebook group if he hasn't already, and he needs to tell us about that and get that theory out there. Send us an email or a voicemail, because I want to hear about that, because you don't hear that too often. But I agree. I think C-3PO is an entertaining character. He always is wanting to do the right thing, and it's so great that he's going to get this moment, it appears, to just stand up for his friends, and this is kind of his farewell. But with that, Luke, you're gonna be my fact checker here. Did we see R2-D2 at all in this trailer?
Yeah, it's right after the 3PO part.
Mm-hmm. He pets him.
Looking at my friend.
Oh my goodness.
3PO's hand is on R2's dome, and R2's doing his little.
Okay, so, yeah. I mean, I gotta watch this again. This is it was all overwhelming, because I think I kind of just kind of closed my eyes at that point and just took in that moment.
I guess I saw more than I thought I did, because I do remember that, and I was like, oh.
Well, let's be honest. I have a terrible memory, so this is gonna take me a while to kind of break this down and remember this stuff. But that was just kind of the biggest, one of the big moments for me. So keep those comments coming, guys. This is fantastic. I want to start in the beginning. Yeah, you got something to say, Luke?
I was just gonna say, one of the things I've discovered, it's not a huge thing, but a fun thing if you're a fan of his, Dominic Monaghan, is confirmed in the cast.
Yes.
Of Lord of the Rings, Meriadoc Brandybuck, and Lost fame.
Yeah, Lost. Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoy him, and there's a shot 31 seconds in. It's the only shot of Rose too, he's with Rose, and he appears to be maybe like a resistance soldier, or just.
Yes.
I know a lot of people were speculating he was one of the Knights of Ren, but it doesn't doesn't look like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that too. A lot of people thought that he was going to be on the other side.
Absolutely, yeah, no, because I think he could have been a good. Who knows? He could, he could be a traitor. We have no idea. Maybe he leaves, the First Order. Who knows? But yeah, no, he's and I saw. I don't know if this was the same moment, but Lando in a little meeting, kind of. I don't know if he was leading the meeting, of all the resistance folks, but. That was nice to see that because we didn't see a ton of him in there. But I couldn't tell you what scenes happened in this trailer, but what I do remember was the beginning. And you hear the chirping. You hear it sounds like a forest. And you see the ferns. You see the forest. And immediately, I even said in the reaction, I was like, that's Endor. Like, that's Endor. And then Rey takes off on a sprint and ignites her lightsaber, and you see a helmet fall. Luke, you're my fact checker here again, my friend. That is an old Rebel Trooper helmet, is it not?
I couldn't tell what that was. I thought maybe it was like a visor, covering her eyes, like how Luke would train blindfolded on the Millennium Falcon.
Great call.
Because there's also, it looks like one of those laser shooting remotes around her too.
That's a good call. Well, Holly, get in there and ask that group to fact check us for it, because that is exactly where my mind went. And I said she found some helmet there and she's training with it, and she got the blast shield down or whatever, and then she either, it's almost like she sensed danger, Luke, and just took off on a dead sprint and said, I'm going to go attack it, or I can't leave my friends, or something. Maybe some training's involved, because that speaking of training, that's I believe leads into the next scene. She leaps from a canyon, if my memory serves me right, and then ends up in some old building, or she's in a starship or something. Is that what happened, Luke? That transition?
Yeah, she could have been running through the forest. Maybe her friends were being eaten by Ewoks or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's not like too far fetched, right?
It's not, no, because if you played Battlefront, then Battlefront 2 on PS4 Xbox, that there is an Ewok specific multiplayer. And those Ewoks are vicious, and the stormtroopers get attacked by them, and I dare I say eaten by them, probably.
You dared.
I mean, they were going to cook Han Solo alive. So
Oh, and who came and saved the day on that one?
C-3PO.
Oh, once again.
I know. The boy's gonna get his due. So we think she could be training there. Is that what we're thinking? That's what it sounds like. Luke was speaking to her in that moment, I think, right?
Yeah, and then she's in some kind of old dwelling or something in that transition where all of a sudden she's inside.
Yeah.
But that's just one really brief shot, and there's hard to tell what's going on.
We saw a lot of Rey and Kylo, which I loved. I can't tell if it's all the same scene. It looks like they're still on the old Death Star. But it was hard to tell, but there was a lot of fighting.
I don't think it can be the same scene.
You're right. Looks like there could be plenty. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just going to say, somebody in the group brought this up too, but at the end of the trailer when she's standing in front of Palpatine, Kylo's not around.
He's not. That's a great point. Kylo's not around. I mean, does Rey seek the Emperor? Is she going to destroy him? Is Kylo dead in that moment? Has the Emperor struck him down? I don't know. Luke, were you surprised? We saw an empty throne at one point, right? Where there was no one sitting there, and the Emperor talks, and then we see, like Holly pointed out, Rey standing before this throne, and we see his shoulder and his hood, which we presume that's the Emperor, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. The throne. That's one of the things we haven't touched on. It's 55 seconds in.
Yeah.
And it's again during part of the Emperor's voiceover, it all of a sudden shows this stone throne. Looks like it's from Dragonstone in Game of Thrones or something. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Palpatine's just been maybe sitting on this thing for a while, or maybe it's an old Sith throne of some thing. I don't know what this thing is or how it connects, but the thing about all these trailers, we don't know the order of these scenes. They're probably, you get stuff out of order, and the big question is, if at one point Kylo and Rey are working together, do they then take the Emperor down and then they still have some sort of confrontation with each other? Now, like if it's just a mutual enemy that they're getting rid of, and then they still have to deal with their own conflict between the two of them.
They just show the empty throne.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely.
Order does that happen in?
You're right. That could signify that there is no, leader at that point, and that's a way the saga. I know they say it's the end. They were hitting home on that with the words coming up on the screen, and I've accepted it, but that could be a way, not necessarily joining forces for the long haul, but just for a common purpose. And that's how the saga could continue, and the lines are drawn at that point. And maybe that's, too much of what we've already experienced in The Last Jedi. Maybe that is too similar. I don't know, but maybe it needs to be, kind of final, and, Ben Solo dies and Rey prevails and starts a new order. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but, Luke, what moment really stood out to you in the trailer? What was one of the defining moments in that trailer for you?
Maybe the biggest shot, and maybe because it's in such bright light, is that Rey and Kylo putting their lightsabers through that stand, which really looks like it's got Vader's helmet on it.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
Yep.
I think I couldn't figure out what that was.
Yeah. Holly blacked out the first 5 minutes of the conversation, so that's okay.
Hey, you're blacked out because of all the psychopathy.
Woo! Wow, those days are over. Was that Jory? That was an old school Rebel watcher there, but
it was actually Nettie, I think.
Nettie, God bless him. I am not sure who Nettie is. That might be a new YouTube channel or YouTube page.
If he knows the psychopathy.
He knows psychopathy from the old Rebel Watch days, but we're doing a Jackie O's. The Honey Nut Brown Chumalunga. I think I nailed that. So the psychopathy days, I've had to wean myself off of the IPAs. So now we're into the nut browns, and keeps me a little more chill. Those were dark days, Nettie, and you never know when they may come back.
Sorry, Luke, that was a tangent.
Yeah, that's okay. So that moment, that, like you said, that stuck out to me too, because it didn't seem like an aggressive moment. It almost felt like the moment where they were touching hands in The Last Jedi, coming together. And
just the surroundings are odd. So much of the trailer there's a lot of dark imagery. There's cloudiness. There's grime. And then this shot is in this pristine white paneled room.
Yeah.
It really was a stark contrast with everything else going on.
Yeah, and that's what it reminds me of. Maybe someone in the group saw it and remembers it better than I do, but that reminds me of that scene from D23 when Kylo had Vader's helmet again and he was staring at it. That could be the same exact scene, but what's everyone's favorite moment? Is anyone talking about anything specific? Because that group will go on a tangent.
So I asked what stood out to everybody, and we kind of talked a little bit about it. Some of them we haven't brought up yet.
Let's bring them up.
Let's see here. We talked about C-3PO. Wade did remind us that we have seen zombies because who else read Death Troopers?
Wow. Yeah, no, good call. That's one I haven't picked up. That is one I have not picked up, Wade.
Yeah, Jory brought up whatever it was that Rey and Kylo smashed with their lightsabers, which Luke just touched on a little bit.
Yeah.
Nettie brought up the floating ice island.
Luke, you caught that, right? Doesn't that look like what was the name of it? It started with a K, I thought. From Resistance. Didn't that look like a similar location? Didn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a killer shot. It looks like, I don't know if it's water that's reflecting those ice mountain things, or if it's some sort of icy asteroid, and that's just like a space platform on that asteroid. But it's an amazing shot within all the TIE fighters coming in from the behind the shot and then flying through.
Wait a second, you haven't seen the last episode of Resistance, is that right? Or did you catch up on that tonight?
Oh no, I haven't watched the one from this weekend yet.
Ooh, okay. So that's
Do you think there's a connection there?
because they go to an ice planet to train. The Aces do,
Oh,
and you remember that?
yeah, I do.
So I don't know. It would be crazy if they make a reference to Resistance, and who knows, maybe they will. But as far as we know, I mean, there is some giant ice monster on the planet, but they claim it's uninhabited. So I don't know if this is going to become a base for the Colossus folks. I don't know, and maybe the Empire's coming to, because what I loved about Resistance lately is, when you think about in The Last Jedi, the Resistance being hunted by the First Order, you kind of think, oh, that's the whole First Order going after the Resistance, but it's not. I mean, you have General or Admiral or Captain Pyre. What's his name, Luke?
Yeah, one of those.
It's something Pyre, I think. Yeah,
Goldie.
old Goldilocks there. Kind of leading this destroyer seeking the Colossus crew. So there's more First Order out there, and who knows? That would be kind of epic if they're like, we got this other cell, it's a small group, but they got really great pilots, and there's this old Navy guy named Kaz, and he's doing things, and we're they're gonna join us or something. Who knows? Maybe we'll see the Aces as a part of that huge hero shot of all the ships coming together. Yeah, Holly, go ahead.
I have a question.
Let's go.
Sorry, you're talking about ships and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there a Y-Wing in the trailer?
Wow.
Because somebody said, Kilps Films, Melbourne, said,
Great name.
the Y-Wing is 50 years old. I looked it up real quick.
Come on.
Everyone's talking about the Y-Wing.
Wow, Luke, did you catch the?
Well,
I blacked out.
It jumped out at me because in episode 4, the Y-Wing, you just see kind of fly through the trench,
Yeah.
and then get blown up a bunch. Like, you don't see the Y-Wings ever do anything cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like in Rebels, the Y-Wings, they put to some good use and made them look kind of cool. But
Yeah.
and then Rogue One, I think, helped redeem the Y-Wings a bit in a lot of people's eyes.
Yep.
But like, even the games and stuff, they weren't very fun to fly usually because they were slower in the bombers and stuff, and so you'd rather be flying something else when you're playing the old Rogue Squadron games or something. But
Yep.
this was like a killer shot of a Y-Wing doing a barrel roll and chasing after some ties and stuff. I was like, all right, well, the Y-Wing has had an upgrade.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Somebody's modified that thing, or they just pulled it out of the old junkyard. I remember it was Rebels. Do you recall when, I don't know who it was, had some sick, it looked like a Y-Wing, that the Ghost crew was trying to get a hold of? I don't even remember what the premise behind that was, but someone's out there modifying Y-Wings and making them BA, because I'll tell you, in Battlefront, they are not fantastic weapons, and it kind of saddens me that they don't even have a bombing option. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not using them correctly in Battlefront, but that I gotta go back and watch it. I feel like I didn't even watch the trailer. Is that sad? Is that sad? Everyone's catching. I think I'm just behind. I think I haven't watched it enough, but I want to watch it more. So I will make an exception, and I'll probably watch it 30 times tonight, because I do want to break it down a little more. What's that, Luke?
You've only got 2 months to watch this thing.
I know.
Get on it.
Not enough time. It's probably going to consume every podcast until December 20th. What else? Other moments that are standing out for people? Any others?
Also, Jory said Poe did some mods.
Hello. What with his hair? Or what did I do? I missed that. He needs to specify, because I don't.
No, you said who's modifying the.
Ooh, maybe he is, or maybe Rose is just sitting there engineering the hell out of some Y-Wings.
I kind of like that idea.
Right, and I mean, who are they getting Y-Wings from nowadays? Luke, the Mon Cals have some, or I didn't see their big, Mon Calamari cruiser there. I didn't see that in the shot at all.
Yeah, there's so many ships in that Armada shot that it's like overwhelming to figure out what they all are.
Yeah.
And but there could be a Mon Cal in there somewhere. But I think one of the disappointing things that George Lucas would call out is he always liked new designs.
Yeah.
In every movie, the ships would change. yeah, you'd get X-wings in every bit of the original trilogy, but in Empire Strikes Back, you got the Snowspeeder for the first time, and then in Return of the Jedi, you got B-wings and A-wings and TIE interceptors were new. And,
let's not forget the Tauntauns in Empire, right? I mean, technically a weapon.
And now, when you look at all these shots of the fighter battles in space, it's TIEs and Y-wings, and you saw a B-wing, and it's a lot of the same fighters. It's just a little unfortunate that there's like not a new fighter that we've seen that's like really distinct.
Well, and that kind of goes with the theme, right? Though that like they're just kind of, you know, they got to be scrappy now. They're kind of taking anything they can get. But if they have, you know, sought allies elsewhere, then you would think that they would have some kind of new weapons, and maybe we would be featuring those in a trailer or something.
Yeah, I guess it's like an iPhone. They're basically the same idea, same product, but it's sleeker, it's a little souped up. You know, it's got it on the inside where it counts.
Yeah.
But the general kind of frame of the ship is the same. It's just a 30-year worth of new upgrades on the iPhone.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me into what I wanted to talk about next. So I kind of wanted to highlight what we didn't see. And that may seem strange, but we all come in with expectations of what we're going to see. And I think new ships may be kind of one of those to start with. Something else I don't want to say, I don't think I was surprised by it, but it just kind of reaffirms that I think JJ is kind of doubling down on our new characters here, because you saw a very distant shot of Lando. We didn't see Luke Skywalker. Did we? I didn't miss him, did I?
Yeah, we just got the voice.
Just got the voice. Didn't see him at all. Saw a lot of Rey and Kylo, which makes me really happy, because we need more Rey. We just do. And it's almost like this is the moment. And I thought the teaser that they showed Saturday really was very symbolic of this. That like the new crew is getting on the Falcon, and now it's their turn. You know, there's some old things that you love. You love Chewbacca. There's some C-3PO. He's getting his due, because I don't think C-3PO has really gotten his due in any film. But it's their story to tell now, and that was just, I thought it was just symbolic of that, and that's what this is about. Is these new people and these new characters, and it's their story now. And yeah, Palpatine's back, but it's going to take more than Luke Skywalker to save the galaxy. It's going to take these new characters stepping up. So we saw some Poe. We saw Finn. We didn't see a lot of Finn, right?
Just in the beginning.
Well,
just in the beginning a little bit.
I have something to add on that on the list of things we didn't see.
Yeah.
And I had a kind of freak out moment for the first few seconds of the trailer, because for whatever reason, it's Finn's voice is the first voice that we hear doing the initial voiceover.
You're right.
For whatever reason, I couldn't place the voice right away.
Same here.
And the voice was clearly like talking about the Force, and I was like about to lose my cool, because I thought it was Anakin. They were reviewing Anakin. And I was like, going into this, I was like, there's a 0% chance that if Anakin's in the movie, they're going to show him in this trailer. Like, that's going to be the ultimate thing.
Right. They have to keep some things.
A couple seconds.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until like the second line, I think, that he delivers that I'm like, oh, it's Finn. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't place Boyega's voice at first, but I think it's Finn the whole time.
It is, and you're right, because my mind went there too. It didn't necessarily jump to Hayden Christensen or Anakin, but I was just like, who the hell is that? It's not Luke. It very clearly isn't Luke. Is that purposeful then? I mean, if Luke's mind went to Anakin, Holly, are they getting us to think about it? Because that's something I want to kind of talk about here in a little bit, but like no mention of Anakin whatsoever. Was that leading us to think about it?
On the setup here, can you play the first couple seconds of the audio, or that won't work?
I don't know if it will, because I don't know if we have that many contraptions hooked up, but
I'd have to listen to it again, but to know if they've like manipulated it all. Maybe they kind of blended a couple voices together, and that's why it was so hard to peg at first.
I think
they could mess around with that in the audio. But
I feel like they've actually done that in past trailers. They've kind of manipulated audio to make it, I don't know, to definitely, I don't know, take you out of the moment and lead you somewhere else. And that's what happened with me. I was like, who is that? I didn't think Anakin immediately, but and then it clicked for me. It was Finn. But Finn's another character. You didn't see him a ton here. But my friend, he has to be redeemed. Holly, yeah.
Well, Wade said, hashtag Anakin clone. It's going to happen. But is that foreshadowing about something that's going to happen to Finn?
That he's the actual chosen one?
No, I don't think that.
Are you sure? Because he said the Force brought us here together.
Well, I don't know.
Jesus,
I don't know. Because... Okay, I don't know.
Get up on that soapbox.
Nope, I don't know.
No, you got to. Let me ask you this: is Finn a character that you really need for him to have a moment in this movie? To in my opinion, he's kind of lost in The Last Jedi.
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't think he needs that moment?
I think that there are other characters that I would like to have that moment. I don't know.
Okay, Luke, how about
that? Was a stressful question.
I agree. Because there's a lot that they have to get into this movie.
Right, and it's only 2.5 hours.
Only 2 hours and 35 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Luke, how about you? You do you have to see more Finn in this one?
Yeah, I think we're going to. And I think Finn was in one of the most fun shots, and maybe the shot that I think a lot of people will start to poke fun at. But there's always goofiness in Star Wars, and it's the shot of the horse-like creatures, and he's on one of those riding who knows where, in like a war charge, it looks like. Yeah. So he's going to have a big connection with Rey at some point, because one of the very first things I think we learned about the movie a while back was either Boyega or Daisy Ridley were on social media and mentioned how they were told by JJ that they were going to have actual scenes together in this movie, which, they had such an enjoyable time working with each other for episode 7, and obviously had a lot of screen time together.
That's right.
Really weren't together at all for episode 8.
That's right.
And they were like both really excited that they actually got to work in the same scenes together again. So there's going to be some significant piece where like all the major players are together. Definitely on like the Resistance side of like Rey, Poe, and Finn and Chewie and Lando seem like maybe they'll all be working together for a chunk of the movie. And then I think Rey's going to, I think, be facing things like Kylo and the Emperor.
Yeah.
On her own as far as living people go.
Yeah.
So I don't think Finn will be involved with that, but he'll have definitely his role to play.
Or it could be part of a bigger battle, because I think that's what, like you mentioned, JJ saying, you guys are going to be working together a lot more, and they were really pumped, because I do think that it's going to, a lot of this will probably be all of them kind of going around together. We see them loading up in the Falcon. We've seen in prior teasers, we've seen them outside the Falcon, which let's call it Endor, for the sake of ease here. I think there's going to be moments where a lot of moments where they're all together kind of doing this thing. But Star Wars is known for kind of separating the crew and going and on their own missions.
But they did that in
they did that in The Last Jedi, and to a lot of people, thought that was not the best thing to do, or maybe, Finn's job wasn't as significant as people had hoped, even though there was huge significance. It got kind of lost in the Canto Bight scene, in my opinion. So you're right, Luke. They're gonna separate and go their own ways, but they're gonna have to have those moments where they're tag teaming, and man, I don't know. Finn saying the Force brought us together, that could just be some, goodbye that he's telling Rey when she goes into battle, or that could be him saying, I'm Force sensitive, and I'm actually the chosen one, and I'm going to take down Palpatine. And when you guys saw me in The Force Awakens, I actually was Force sensitive in that moment.
For the record, I was not saying that. I thought Finn was going to be the chosen one.
Well, maybe not the chosen one, but maybe he's Force sensitive, and then he goes kind of Haas on the Emperor. Who knows?
But everyone wants more Finn.
Let's go.
Jory needs Finn like Walken needs more cowbell.
Oh my god. Oh, we got Jory on. If he's dropping those jokes left and right, I love it.
But yeah, everyone seems on board with Finn having his shining moment.
Yes, he definitely has to. And what the big one? Let's say the big two. I don't want to hold you guys up all night, but the big two things we didn't see in this trailer. I mean, I'm not gonna call Palpatine's shoulder and his hood like him in the flesh in this trailer. I just, in my opinion, Palpatine was missing from this trailer. He had vocals. We knew we were going to hear him again, right? I mean, we had to hear the Emperor again. But I thought we'd actually see him in the flesh. Luke, are you surprised, since we know he's coming back, are you surprised we actually didn't see the Emperor in the flesh?
No, we got exactly what I expected in terms of a few lines of dialogue. And I was expecting not to see any kind of imagery, but they did seem to suggest that over-the-shoulder shot is looking at Palpatine. But again, nothing we know for sure.
Yeah.
I was just surprised they went that far. But definitely I was expecting some audio, but not a good look at him.
Is that a similar shot with Luke Skywalker in the Emperor in Jedi? Is that?
Yeah, there's a shot like that, yeah, where he's kind of looking up at him as he's on his little throne and on the Death Star. And I think he did a little over-the-shoulder look.
Yeah, that's
kind of from Vader's perspective, because I think at one point in that scene, Vader's kind of standing to the side of the Emperor's throne, looking down at Luke as well.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That's what it reminded me of. That last moment where Luke's going to confront the Emperor. It just. But you know what? If they go down that path, like they're going to have to confront the Emperor. But if it's that similar scenario, I mean, you're going to have people yelling from the treetops again, this is too similar to the originals. But someone's going to have to confront the Emperor. He's definitely back, and he has to be defeated. And, Kylo's had his moment with Snoke, and I really need Rey to really just kick ass. I'm sorry about that for the PG-13 podcast, but she really needs to kick it, and it needs to be her saving the day here. But so Palpatine, we didn't get a lot of him, but we got enough. I think a lot of us agree with that. We kind of were expecting not to see much from him, but I kind of thought we might see an image of him or something. But and you know what? He may not have even been in the flesh. And in Rebels, Ezra sees the Emperor a lot. And it's not actually the Emperor. That's right, Luke, right? He goes in that temple, and the Emperor's manipulating him, and he's seeing him, but he's not seeing him.
Yeah, it's kind of a projection of him. It's there's the one point in the World Between Worlds where it is the Emperor, but he's not in the portal. He's kind of looking through the portal.
Yes.
And then I think the scene where you're talking about, sort of the last temptation of Ezra scene.
Yeah.
He's like in hologram form.
Yeah, no, you're right. So man, now I'm thinking about Rebels and what could happen with Rey.
Spoilers.
Well, you're right. Well, we got to get you caught up because there's a lot to talk about. But so that I think, yeah, there's some relation there. Who knows what Rey's going to be up against? Is Palpatine going to tempt her with her parents again? But there was a very defining moment that I want to talk about before we get to the big, who's not in the trailer. Rey confronting Kylo on what appears to be the Death Star. She lights up her lightsaber and she says, "People think they know who I am. They don't." And Kylo says, "I do," or something like that. Has Rey just accepted her past, or
is that Kylo who says that?
He's
in his mask, right, Luke? You heard he was in his mask, I believe.
No, we never see Kylo in his mask. No lips. We see no lips moving on screen during this. So yeah, Rey says, "People keep telling me they know me, but no one does." And then you see an image of Kylo and hear his voice say, "But I do."
Yeah, and it's coming through the mask, I think, right?
No, I didn't think he had his mask on the whole trailer.
Well, I mean, like the sound. It sounded almost like he was speaking through his thing.
Okay, yeah, it could be, because again, that audio is pulled from a different moment in the movie, but than the image that we see in the trailer. So we don't even know if they're talking to each other at that moment.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. That's another misdirection.
It's strongly hinted that they are, and again, kind of suggest that they're forging a connection. That
you're right,
and that goes back to the Force Skyping throughout The Last Jedi. There's clearly like a strong connection that they both are people who feel a little lost in the galaxy because they are unique and have the burden of the power they're able to wield.
Yeah.
And it seems like you two had a great Reylo discussion and brought up a lot of good points about how it'd be really kind of a bad message if they like live happily ever after and it'd be like a weird relationship, but not so much on a romantic level is what I'm talking about, but more of just like you're somebody out of however many beings in the galaxy that kind of can relate to me, and there's not many people out there who can. That's the sort of connection they seem to have.
Absolutely.
That line speaks to that.
Yeah, we see that a lot in The Last Jedi.
We do.
Which is why I think Rey keeps coming back to him, and we talked about that last night.
Sounds like you're going on a Reylo tangent.
I'm not going
down.
on a Reylo tangent.
I'm down.
I'm just saying that I agree with Luke.
Yeah.
Where that's the reason why she kept going back to him, and we saw she disappointed the other Luke.
Yes.
And
you're right.
But I don't think that Luke understands the kind of isolation that Rey has, which is weird because you would think that he would, but he's not very empathetic to her feeling that lonely.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think that there is a connection there, and it's not
Definitely
that romantic type. It's
you're absolutely right.
I'm alone, and you're the only person who could possibly understand what I'm going through, so I need to roll with that and see if we can have that connection continue.
You're absolutely right, and I'm so glad you guys brought up the Reylo discussion because Daisy Ridley actually recently just addressed it, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she listened to episode 4 of Flying Casual, where we revisited the Reylo discussion. I'm pretty sure she did. We're going to tweet her here later, and we're going to send it and say, is this what you're talking about? But she said that she understands, the people that, she understands Reylo and those that like it, but she also understands those that don't. And she respects that, and that this movie is going to address that. And the way I was reading it, and maybe I was reading through the lines, is that it addresses, and that's not okay. And she's going to stand up for herself and not allow this manipulation to happen. That's me reading through the lines, and I'm sure that wasn't even what she said. Did I make up the article? Who knows? But I'm pretty sure she was listening to Flying Casual about that discussion. But so that's, God, I could talk about Reylo all day. We'll save that for another time.
Reylo keeps coming up.
Damn it! In the group, I love it.
Over and over again.
Let's talk about it more. Find us a good comment there about Reylo. But I wanted to bring up what Luke said again about the mask. We don't see the mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Nate said, I think that Kylo is in his mask in the scene when they destroy the pillar.
Ooh,
and
really?
Jory and Wade both confirm
that. Okay,
that.
So that happened quickly. You're kind of focused on the centerpiece.
Yeah, Luke, how dare
there.
you?
Yeah, Luke, you photographic memory. You lied to me. But it that's such a fast moment though. Like they're destroying something. I was like, wait, what? It looks like they're not being confrontational and they're destroying something together. So I didn't even catch the mask.
Well, I didn't even know what it was. I kept looking at that and I was like, what is happening here?
It just kind of shatters and it looks like Vader's helmet. But here's the thing though, what surprises me is Kylo's mask has been a staple of the Rise of Skywalker advertising. It's been on toy packaging. It's been everywhere. It's been on ads, on the internet, on television. It's everywhere. And that wasn't a focal point. We didn't see that hero shot of Ben Solo in his mask that I thought we would, kind of like The Force Awakens. Because
we have to wait for December 20th.
I can't wait.
19th at 6:30 p.m.
Wow. Perfect. Thank God you got those tickets. But I was kind of surprised that wasn't more of a focal point in the trailer. Maybe we've got too much of it, but I don't know. I was a little surprised by that. But so what are folks saying about Reylo? We'll address it quickly. What are they saying about Reylo? I don't know if our group is big Reylo supporters, but not okay.
I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody,
that
but
may sum it up.
I mean, Reylo equals over.
Let's go.
Bye, Reylo. I'll drink to that. No more Reylo.
That's what
Jory
I said.
I knew I liked all you guys.
Let's go.
And then Wade told me to get back up on my soapbox.
Yeah, get back up on. Well, she did get on a soapbox for 45 minutes on episode 4. And I do want to give more time to it because we're going to have so much to talk about. And I'm sure the Reylo supporters are coming out of the woodworks about this trailer. You know they are. They're coming back. There's going to be so many more articles, and we are going to talk about it more. We just are at 54 minutes now, and some people got to go to work tomorrow. Unfortunately,
it's a school night. It's past our bedtime.
But what I wanted to talk about before we, you guys go ahead, leave your comments. What do you want us to address really quickly? What are your final thoughts? But one of my final thoughts. Luke and I actually kind of casually talked about it today at working. By casually, I say probably 30 to 40 minutes outside of his office. Don't shame us for that. But no Anakin, no mention of the Chosen One, no Anakin, no reference to my father, no reference to a Skywalker or the rising of a Skywalker. Luke, we talked about it. We really weren't expecting it. We were thinking that they're going to hold back until, the actual movie. Were you still not surprised that's what happened? No reference to a Skywalker at all of any, reference?
Yeah, I think they want to keep people's minds on Luke being the Skywalker that the title's referring to with the misdirection.
Yeah.
Luke's more forefront in people's mind. And in terms of the general sort of more casual fan.
Yeah.
And then, all of us on these podcasts and things are speculating wildly about Anakin.
Yeah.
But in the broader sense, I don't think the broader public who goes to see this movie is going to have that in the back of their minds already, so that it will be a much more significant moment in the movie if all of a sudden he's there. And that's, I think they're holding back. They have to hold back that because they gave us Palpatine from the very first teaser trailer we saw from Celebration. They revealed that, so they've got to be holding some cards still.
Yeah, you're right. I could have used maybe, I don't know, like a kind of faintly in the background, like spinning's a good trick. Like I could have used something like that. You know what I'm saying? Luke knows what I'm saying. But, we saw Kylo utilizing that 6-spin move. No spin moves, I don't think, in this trailer.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Some Skywalker somewhere is doing a spin move. Because it's a good trick. We learned that in episode 1.
It's actually Anakin in that Y-Wing then.
Oh, my God.
He's like, hey, guys, I refabbed this old, Phantom Menace Y-Wing here.
And also his Force Ghost is the pilot. So
that would be sick.
It's working. It's working.
You think that's how when he actually learns to become one with the Force and he shows up, that's what he's saying internally, like, it's working. I'm present. Like, you can see me. But yeah, I don't know what to expect with Anakin Skywalker, and I told Luke this the other day, or actually just this afternoon. These are kind of be my ending thoughts. I'm a little afraid that we all are setting a lot of expectations for this movie. I mean, hell, I've been setting expectations for the last hour. It scares me. It scares me that we're going to have another Last Jedi moment. I don't think we will. It just makes me a little hesitant because, for a while, I was just like, Anakin, I don't know how Anakin can come back. And now I'm just like, he has to. He has to. I don't want to be, one of those people having those expectations and leaving that theater and be like, what the hell did I just see? I don't think that's going to be the case. But I'm just a little worried. Luke, is there any doubt in your mind that Anakin is making a comeback at all in episode 9?
Well, there's always doubts. I don't get too work, high on my own stuff here.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be great. To me, it would be great to round out the saga to include him. And ultimately, JJ didn't go that route. I think we can still have an enjoyable movie. And obviously, I think there's going to be a reference to him as Vader.
Yeah.
Because it really looks like Vader's helmet,
You're right.
appears as part of the plot in some way. So there's going to be a bit of him in it either way. I think it would be great to actually have his form, his spirit, actually, in the light side appearing and putting his thumb on the scale in some way.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great way of putting it.
A pretty epic, crazy movie either way, and we just have to go into it saying, man, it'd be amazing to see Anakin, but let's just take it in and see what it brings at us, and we can still have a good time with it either way.
Yeah. Jory said, I'm excited for whatever they give us, and I am taking no expectations.
Let's go.
It's a great way to not be disappointed.
This is why I love, our group of friends, because they're taking it for what it's worth, and they're going into it with an open mind. And, people are going to have disagreements when this movie comes out. There's going to be people that disagree that may like it more than others, and then that's okay. And we're going to talk about it in a respectful, manner, and it's going to be awesome. But I just am a little worried, but I too am trying to, kind of just settle myself and know that, like, whatever happens is going to be fantastic. Yeah.
Like Jory said,
come on.
You're a consumer of the product, not a creator.
That's right. If
just
I want to make
it.
my own Star Wars, by God, I'll go out in the backyard and make one, and that may happen one day. But you're right. I am a Star Wars consumer through and through, and we all here always look at it, and the positive and take it for what we enjoy. I just want to get some thoughts from the group. What's the percentage that Anakin is physically making a comeback in this film? I need a percentage. So while you guys are thinking that, and offer your thoughts in the comments, Luke, any final parting thoughts about this trailer? Did it get you excited? Did it disappoint at all?
I think it did exactly what it needed to: show us a ton of great imagery, give us at least one chilling moment, I think, to hear Luke and Leia together talking, and to hear Palpatine's voice in sort of a not over the top but menacing and cool way.
Yeah.
It gave us everything we needed to drive us home on the stretch run of 2 months to go.
Absolutely. 2 months to go. It's an emotional day. It's it's
my
late
birthday.
It is your birthday on the release. It's today marks the late Carrie Fisher's birthday as well. I believe she would have been 65 today. So that definitely really adds a lot of weight to this trailer, and that's why I was just speechless after watching it at the end with her just talking about the Force being with you always. And in my mind, in that moment, she became one with the Force, and it's just a chilling moment and an inspiring moment. And so that really had me excited. Holly, your final thoughts. Are you excited about this? Could you care less? Are you ready? Are you excited for Star Trek on CBS? What are you thinking?
I'm the most excited for Star Trek on CBS.
It's actually not a bad production, but
no, I am more excited for this than I was for The Last Jedi.
Let's go.
So, but
yeah,
I also am like those in the group who I'm just going to go in to watch a movie and enjoy it.
That's right. Get a large corn, large Coke.
Layer that butter.
Layer the butter. We're going to go,
sneak in a can of margarita.
Thank God. Folks, if you haven't got your tickets yet, you may be out of luck. I know some sites have queues lined up. Luckily, Holly went and nabbed a few opening night Thursday, premiere tickets. I don't know how you did it. She's just like, hey, I got these. I was like, thank God, because I was too busy setting up stuff. And Luke, we're going to be going Friday morning. We all took the day off. So really excited about that. I am sorry to those that aren't able to do that, and we'll be fighting for seats, Friday evening and the weekend. But I'll probably be fighting for seats right along with you to see it for a third or fourth time. But so we've got our tickets. We're going to be talking about this movie for the next 2 months. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
Sorry, the numbers have come in.
Come on, I was going to ask you right now. What do we got?
All right, right now.
I'm going to say there's a lot of 100% in there.
Well, actually, Wade said.
Knew it.
You know his opinion.
1000%.
Jory said 75 to 80.
Okay. Oh, I'm there with Jory. Yeah.
And then Wes said
Come on, Wes.
85% sure we see Anakin Skywalker again the way he should have been if he never turned, which is a great point.
Boy.
We will break that down later.
Yeah. And that's what I like, those numbers though. And I am a little shocked because there's a lot of people wanting Anakin to come back, and me too. I think that's a great moment, a great way to tie this whole saga together. I think it's just going to be a really interesting discussion in the coming weeks. So that's fascinating. So I know after watching this trailer, you guys have theories. I need them. I need to talk about these theories with you. So send us an email. Hit us up at flyingcasualcast@gmail.com. Send that email. We'll read it. I'm going to do my best to read it. I'm going to stutter through it, but it'll
even better, just leave us a voicemail.
Leave a voicemail. You can hit us up at 614-398-2119, and we'll absolutely play that on the air, and we're going to dissect it as much as possible. And I've got my crew here, and we are ready to talk about those theories with you guys. And go in there and join that Facebook group. That Facebook group's growing. Wade's doing a great job in there moderating the heck out of that thing. We got finally Luke there in the group. He's throwing his stuff down as well. And we're just, everyone's coming together, and we all got a lot to say. So let's all share it and just break it down, casually. I really can't say much more than that, but this has been fantastic, guys. I do apologize for the delay. I think I finally got this live thing figured out now to a T. Should be good to go. So the next time we say we're going to start something, we're definitely going to start it on time. So apologies again. Sorry it's so late, but this has been an epic discussion. I'm so happy to have Luke there on the line. We got his audio sound a little better. Expect even more improvements here to come. So we're working